there, my wedding planning friends, and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, thanks so much for clicking on my video. I'm Emily Summer. I'm a wedding planner based in Montana, and I make weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice. So it is March 1st today, and I can't believe that I haven't done this video yet already, but today I wanted to talk all about the wedding trends that we're expecting to see in 2022 wedding season. So I did a video on 2022 wedding dress trends a little while back, but I wanted to do something all about what I'm expecting to see based on what I've seen with my clients, what I've seen with other weddings, and just on social media, and just kind of what we're expecting to see for those trends for the 2022 wedding season. First one is a lot more outdoor weddings. So here in Montana, that's pretty common and has been for years, is to have outdoor wedding ceremonies. Perhaps other parts of the country or of the world it's not as common. Still seeing a lot of church weddings or banquet halls, that sort of thing. But we are seeing a lot more outdoor weddings kind of overall, and I think a lot of this is due to a lot of weddings needing to be outside in the last couple years, and that's kind of just a continuing trend. So lots of that coming up. Number two, we're seeing a lot more simplistic decor. So not a whole lot of these really extravagant installations or lots of extra decor on the tables or extra decor kind of throughout the wedding. Things are a lot more simplistic and modern, which I personally am loving. And I think a lot of this actually is kind of out of a necessity, which if you're planning a wedding, there's a good chance you have heard the phrase supply chain issues more than once. It is a very normal part of my vocabulary these days when I'm, trying to get things confirmed for weddings. And so I think that has kind of played a part into this simplistic decor. However, I think it is working out pretty well. There's a lot of advantages. It creates, a more sleek, elegant design, and also saves you some money when you're not trying to do these really extravagant decor, extra decor pieces that you just really don't need at your wedding. So seeing a lot more of that. Number three, more micro weddings or more intimate style weddings. Again, this has been kind of a result of the last couple of years. However, I think couples are really starting to see the benefit of having more smaller intimate weddings and by that I mean like anything under 100 guests. I think a couple years ago, on average, most weddings were 125, 150 people. And in the last year, I really haven't had too many weddings that are over 150. I think this upcoming year I have maybe 2 or 3 weddings that will be even at that point, and most of them are on the lower end, lots of 50 to 60 people, 80 people weddings, which personally I am absolutely loving. I think, like I said, a lot of couples are seeing the benefit in having smaller weddings. It gives you a chance to really connect with all the guests at your wedding. It's not as overwhelming having all of this huge amount of people, maybe a lot of people that you have never even met before, that you don't really know at your wedding. Not to mention, it's also going to save you some money as well. Number four, this has been an ongoing trend, seeing a lot more eco-friendly and sustainable decor and just elements of your wedding. So renting a lot of items instead of purchasing them. Again, this is kind of a result of the whole supply chain issue as well, but I think it's working in our favor pretty well. So a lot more sustainable florals, trying to get things local, getting anything that you can locally as possible. Again, reusing items if you can, borrowing things from friends, or being able to sell your items afterwards so that somebody else can use them, and really incorporating a lot more eco-friendly and sustainable pieces into weddings. Number five, color. Color's kind of all over the place right now, and we are seeing that trend of kind of the rust, copper, darker fall kind of color palettes is still going to stick around, but we're seeing kind of a resurgence of those pastel color palettes. There's going to be a lot more like that dusty blue coming back, more purples, kind of that really soft pastel, not the muted colors that we saw a couple years ago, but more soft pastel colors are making their way back in 2022. We're also seeing a big shift in what wedding registries look like. So a lot more couples are opting out of the kind of standard physical item wedding registry Registry, where you're registering for actual tangible items, you know, for your home, for your kitchen, bedding, all of that kind of stuff. While that is still present, of course, we're seeing a lot more couples use their registry for things like a honeymoon fund, or couples that are trying to buy a house. I have seen couples that are having a fund to either, you know, make a renovation on their home or to help with the purchase of a home, and things that are more experiences and less tangible items. Number 7, non-traditional wedding attire. So a lot more color is being incorporated into both the bride and groom attire, also bridesmaids, bridal party overall. We're seeing a lot more kind of non-traditional options, and like I said, adding in some color, adding in some texture, some patterns. We're seeing a lot more of that coming up here in 2022. Number 8, elopements and adventure elopements specifically. So kind of going along with that whole micro wedding, intimate wedding thing, we are seeing a rise in elopements as well. So couples that are choosing to go on a hike and go in a national park or go to a beach and have some sort of adventure style elopement has become a really popular trend in the last year and growing going into 2022. Number 9, alternative flower girls. If you have any sort of social media, you have probably seen videos of this, and so we're seeing a lot more kind of different routes to go than the standard, you know, small young girl for a flower girl. I've seen people use their grandmothers, which is adorable. We've seen the flower boys. I've seen lots of versions of this where they have actual men, you know, like maybe like that would be groomsmen walking down the aisle and throwing flower petals as opposed to a small child. I've also seen having their friends walk down with like shot glasses or drinks or something instead of flowers. So this has really opened up a whole new world when it comes to flower girls. And finally, number 10, a lot more non-Saturday weddings. So, you know, for as long as I can remember, typically a wedding happens on a Saturday. That's just kind of how it's been for years. That's the most common wedding date. And due to kind of playing catch up for the last year or so, we're seeing a lot more couples getting married on Fridays or on Sundays or even during the week. And while this has been a result of kind of things out of our control, I think that this will continue to be a trend for a little while because you can save, you know, a ton of money getting married on a non-Saturday date. And whether that decision came out of necessity, I think it's becoming a little bit more common and a little bit more acceptable to get married on a non-Saturday date. So there are the top 10 wedding trends that I'm expecting to see this summer. I'd love to hear what you think about them, any that you're excited about, any others that I didn't mention that you think might happen in 2022. I would love to hear it. Let me know in the comments below. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, please like and subscribe to get weekly videos on wedding planning tips and advice, and we'll see you next week.